Hello, it's Philip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers, and I'm looking at a book from the Law Society Publishing. It's called Domestic Abuse. It's this book here. Back of it there's some blurb, there's actually a very useful CD, and it's very much the style of the book is very much like the Law Society publications. A lot of information, there's no preface, there's a lot of information starting off right at the beginning. The book actually has 4 parts, and the important factor about this book is that the annexes, the actual forms and all stuff, follow through each of the parts, so you won't find the annexes right at the back, although you will find an index. What we have done is we've produced a review on Flickr. My wife and I have written this review, and what we've said is we've given it the title "A Shame That Still Won't Speak Its Name," because this is a very difficult issue for very many people. Jane Wilson's book, we say, is essential reading for all involved in both criminal and civil jurisdictions as a fully comprehensive guide to all aspects of domestic abuse. The work explains the various options available, including the law and procedure relating to applications for injunctive relief, which I think is probably the most important area. So Law Society Publishing have included a CD which I've mentioned to you there, and it's extremely useful for those who like them, because obviously it gives you all the download information. The book opens with a most common useful law definition, which in fact we need, and that is that there's no specific crime involved yet of domestic violence or a definition of domestic abuse in civil law concerning injunctions, but there is a good definition. As I say, this is the common law one. Any incident or threatening behaviour, violence or abuse, psychological, physical, sexual, financial or emotional, between adults who are or have been intimate partners or family members regardless of gender or sexuality. It's been adopted by the CPS, ACPO and the government, and it gives quite a lot of definitions linked very much to the relevant statutes, which we've listed. They're actually in here and they're listed on the web. There are 13 chapters altogether in 4 parts, covering the following: the risk and impact of domestic abuse, injunctive proceedings, domestic abuse in children and criminal proceedings. As I said, the annexes you will find at the end of each part, which is slightly different from the way that most of the Law Society publications operate. I think it actually helps the flow of the detailed information because of the different courts which are involved under our current jurisdictional structure. So from the practitioner's point of view, there is useful information for newer professionals on best evidence at hearings, and of particular importance in my opinion is chapter 12, dealing with CAFCAS risk assessment and procedures from first appointment leading to the finding of fact hearings. That also includes useful examples in some of the more unusual circumstances, and I can say that I find that extremely helpful as a practitioner. Both the Law Society and Jane Wilson, therefore, are to be congratulated, in our view, on producing most important work for 2012, at a time when many households will experience economic stress. We gave this review the title "The Shame That Still Won't Speak Its Name," because much of what is raised here affects many more people than it is comfortable to count. So it's quite probable that this area of law will gain a greater visibility in the coming years, as the politicians still fail to agree on repeal of the aged legislation we have, which we're still relying on, despite persistent protests from the Criminal Law Review. Obviously we're talking about the Offences Against the Person Act. The time is now right, in our view, for a full review, and Jane Wilson has started it with this book. So thank you very much indeed. Bye bye.